And Beyond 50 presents a short, candid conversation with Dr. Gabriel Cousens, and he is the founder of Tree of Life Rejuvenation Center located in Arizona. Today we will be talking about nutrition and the health in the aging process. And I'd like to welcome to the program Dr. Gabriel Cousens.
Well,
how are you doing today, Doctor?
Just terrific.
Good. Now let's talk about briefly nutrition and health in the aging process, and what are some of the general nutritional guidelines that people should know as they're entering their midlife years and beyond?
Well, the most important thing to know is the less you eat, the longer you live. This was a principle discovered by Luigi Corignano in the 14th century, who was about ready to die from self-toxicity at the age of 48, and when he changed under the tutelage of Benedict, Father Benedict, who learned from Constantine the Essene, basically he lived 102, and he learned that if he ate less, he'd live longer. That's the key concept. Now the question is, how do you do that? And,
especially in America.
and what we know is, that we've known for years, is that the long-lived cultures basically have half the calories of people in the U.S. In U.S., calories is about 3,800. Around the world, the Vikamakama, the Hunzas, and so forth, have about 1,500 calories. So it's half as much. Now, there's a secret to this. And the secret to this is something that was really discovered and published in 2001, where this one doctor did 11,000 gene chips. And what he learned was that when he fed mice 40%, they had a 40% less calories. They had a 400% increase in turning on their anti-aging genes, their anti-inflammatory genes, their antioxidant genes, their anti-cancer genes. Now, that's a really important concept. That was work by Dr. Spindler. Now, what comes from that is then we have to look at how do we cut down our calories, right? And how do we do it in a fun way? Because you aren't having fun, what are you living for?
Right.
That being said, what we find is when people have a live food, organic, plant-based diet, they literally can eat half as much calories. Because when you cook food, you lose 50% of your protein gets coagulated, 70-80% of your vitamin and minerals get destroyed, and about 90%, 95% of your phytonutrients get destroyed. The most important being resveratrol, which really turns on the anti-aging genes, one of the things. So basically, if you go live food, you've just made your life a lot better. We're not talking about live fish, chicken, and beef. That's a pretty gross way to go. We're talking about plant-based. Now, the research at the China study shows that those people who have the highest amount of plant-based food in their diet have the lowest amount of chronic disease. Those people who have the highest amount of animal, fish, chicken, and dairy in their diet have the highest amount of chronic disease. So there's a direct relationship. And that key thing, which is minimizing your calories, which is really easy to do in a live food diet because you get all your nutrition in half the calories anyway, is the profound secret. Imagine turning on all 400% increase in your anti-aging genes. And it works. And it works, and that's the key thing. And that is the first, Dr. Spindler's work, is the first evidence of the fact that we can literally reverse aging by our diet. So it's very, very profound. And then we add the plant-based, and it's like, that's right out of Genesis 1:29. That's real easy, too. So we're already been given a prototype of how to do this 6,000 years ago. So what else is new?
A long, long time, but everybody would have conventional wisdom, especially in our messages today, that this is some secret that nobody's ever heard of before.
Yeah.
Now, let's take a look at when you talk about the kind of diet that you're talking about here, Dr. Cousens, is these foods are also good because, there's the alarm for men and prostate health, and then, of course, for women in menopause. So these really help them support like prostate cancer prevention as well as smooth menopause transition as well.
Significantly. Let's talk about men. Men over 50, have at least 50% of them have some little, I'm going to say, microcancer cells, and over 60, it's like 75%. Those are rough statistics because people don't know that for sure, but that's roughly what we're talking about. Well, if you go to a plant-based diet, just alone, because that's where the research is done, you're going to cut down your rate. Meat eaters basically have a 3.5 times higher rate of prostate cancer. That's also true with breast cancer and also all cancers. We look at dairy, and the statistics from large studies show that people who have dairy have 3 times more leukemias and Hodgkin's disease. You dramatically decrease your cancer rates by going on a plant-based diet, and even more dramatically by doing a plant-based, even 80% live food diet. And your brain works better. Of course, we want to add to that, you want to be well hydrated, because even if you're 2% dehydrated, your brain, you start to get mental confusion. We want to exercise, and not a whole lot, 16 to 23 minutes a day. We like the rebounder. It's or walking for a half hour is good. We want to breathe, because by the time you're 70, you lose 50% of your oxygen capacity if you don't keep your lungs flexible. And then sunshine for the vitamin D. That gives you more protection because vitamin D protects you against 70% of the cancers. Now, we're not talking a little bit of vitamin D. We're talking about 10,000 units a day. But if you're in the sun for 20 to 30 minutes, you're going to get 20,000 units a day. And relationships are also important. You want love. You want joy in your life. And men, the research shows that men who are in a healthy relationship will live 2 years longer. That's pretty impressive. And women also live longer, and also your social network, if it's a loving social network, really improves your longevity. So, wow, we got joy, love, happiness, and then you do a 50%, 40% calorie reduction, which is real easy in live foods because you basically can eat half as much and get all the nutrients you need. And a plant-based diet, you've got all the secrets. Diet, exercise, breathing, sunshine, all nature's healers, water. It's like this is a good way to go. And what happens is you have tremendous vitality. You're literally stronger as a National Football Hall of Fame football player and captain of undefeated college football team. I could do 70 push-ups. At the age of 60, after 25 years on this kind of diet, I could do 601 push-ups. It is really, really easy to do, but you got to love yourself enough to want to heal yourself. You got to love yourself enough to have a quality of life.
Very good. Well, Dr. Gabriel Cousens, thank you for sharing the fact that the secret is there is no secret. And the Tree of Life Rejuvenation Center can be located in Arizona. Please, Dr. Cousens, real briefly, give out your website and telephone information.
So we have 2 things, www.treeoflife.nu or GabrielCousens.com. And then people can call and you can ask for our 21-day rejuvenation program or our very special Renew You program, which takes out a lot of the accumulated toxic waste and, let's say, calcium buildup that makes people so stiff and painful. And that number is either 866-394-2520 or 520-394-2520.
Very good. Well, Dr. Gabriel Cousens, thank you for joining us here on the program today.
Great. Have a good day, everybody.